Welcome back to another virtual camp blast. Today we have the Minions back with us. Say hi, Minions.
Hello.
State your names.
I'm Jamie.
Rachel.
Alright, so today we have the Minions with us, and we're going to take a unique behind-the-scenes look into the mastermindedry. Is that a word? Mastermindedry? You know what it means, right? So it must be a word.
It's close.
Alright, masterminds behind the NOYC one-of-a-kind escape room. It's a favorite on Thursdays, and so first question, how exactly did the idea of having an escape room at camp come about?
I don't know. Someone said, hey, let's have an escape room, and we're like, yeah, that's a good idea.
We needed to fill a spot. I think more than anything, we wanted something new, something fresh to bring to the kids, and then they just kind of went over really well, so we just continued to do it.
So, when was the first escape room?
Ooh, it was when my mustache was crooked.
That's 2000,
Right, save that story.
2016. No, 17.
2017. So at that point, had either of you ever been to an escape room?
I still never have. Besides ours.
I have been to one, and it was like a long time ago, and we failed.
All right. So what themes or what plots have we seen at the NOYC so far?
The stealing of the trophy.
Yeah, the trophy. There was the police station
They had to
investigation, and then what was here after that?
How many we had? 3?
We only had
So
3?
the next one was the scientist one where everyone was gonna die.
Yeah.
And then this year.
You should have seen her wig. It was great.
It was impressive.
It was very impressive.
I lost a couple of
Brain cells.
and brain cells.
So what's been your favorite plot or your favorite theme so far?
My favorite theme is probably the scientist one, only because it was so much fun to record the video. Like, when we get together, it's not anything good.
That one was the most fun as far as I loved the theme and everyone's gonna die.
Yeah.
I don't want people to die, but it was just
you
fun.
do.
But like it was the worst one inside because we all were boiling.
Yeah.
Just inside.
All right. So what is the funniest thing you've ever witnessed happen inside of an escape room? Give us the scoop.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot that happens in escape rooms.
I don't know.
Where do you even start?
That's a really hard question, actually. I'm trying to think. Well, you always have Josh doing the everyone's going to die, and then
I don't know.
Actually, one of my favorite things was just like going around to random groups of kids, like, and going, "Do you have any fruit snacks?
Yeah,
Do you have any fruit snacks?" That was really
The
fun.
one, I don't remember her name, but the one girl picked up my giant water bottle when we were in the scientist one, and she was like, guys, look what I found, it has to be something. I'm like, no, that's just my water bottle, it's oversized.
That's fine. I'm trying to think. Well, obviously the book thing.
Yes, the
because
book.
like we had a secret thing inside of a book,
had a
and
star.
it had a star. Stars meant that stars point the way, and so that meant that it was part of the actual thing. It wasn't
It was
just
a
prop.
clue.
Yeah. And so we were trying to get them to notice it, and so we'd pull it out. Well, every single time we pull it out, they would just shove it back in, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So the one time we just threw it off the thing. We're like, "Look, it's a book!"
And the kid just came up, was like, oh, a book fell back to the shelf.
That was pretty nice.
So speaking of the kids, so tell us, how vicious are these kids in the escape room?
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea in the tissue box.
Sweet tea in the tissue box.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
explain.
So the tissue box, did we have a clue inside the tissue box?
Yes, they had to go through the bottom.
I think it was the side. I think the side we had
Okay.
taped, and then like a fake tissue on top. I mean, it was real tissue, but like it just looked like it was full. There was something inside, and all they had to do was like open the flaps, grab the clue, close the flaps. No, they just demolished the tissue box.
Ripped it
completely.
completely, and we're like,
It was sad.
it didn't need to be that way. And then there was also a clue separate year that they had to take a canister full of, I don't even know what it's called. Did it have a name? The sweet tea?
It was.
Did it have a name on it, or was it just a spray bottle?
I think we could call it some kind of solution. Or
Yeah, it was something. It was some kind of fancy. So they had to spray it on a singular. I say singular.
A piece of paper.
One, just the singular piece of paper, and they decided to spray the entire board that we had.
It was a big board.
It was a very big. It was probably like a 5x6.
It was large. And
5
they
by 6.
sprayed it
It
the
was
whole thing.
everything, all of it, and we're just
Sweet
like,
tea, sticky mess everywhere.
just like no,
And of course, that wasn't the last team.
no. It was like the second team in,
Yeah,
so
that
like
was
we just had to apologize for the amount of mess that was in.
Things are sticky over here. It's fine.
And then it got to the point where we were just like, hey, spray this piece of paper.
yeah, I wouldn't even let them like look at the board. I just held the paper up, like spray this.
They weren't allowed. They lost their privileges.
So what is the secret to keeping things secure in the escape room? What have you learned over the years?
There is
what
none.
It's don't touch that. Squirt bottle.
Hot gluing things that this year we got
Securing.
smart.
I thought you meant. I thought you meant like securing, just like don't touch that over there.
So yeah, so the kids are vicious and they tear apart everything. So this year we got smart because it's a museum and it was like too intricate to like put back together in like
Every time.
Well, we have like 15 minutes, not even.
I don't know, I mean 15
to put
minutes.
things back. So we literally had our dear little sweet grandmother glue everything. So hot glue on everything. So like the kids were like, I
Can't move that.
and it didn't move.
So the rules were, if you can't move it easily, don't move it.
So you mentioned that you have some time between. Why don't you walk us through
Some.
the behind the scenes of what happens between the teams?
It's utter chaos. It's
It's a lot of where did this one go? Where does this go? Every time. Even
do you
the
have an
last
extra
one.
this?
I think we're missing something. It's okay. We'll just tell them.
Yeah, that's our like fallback plan. If like we can't find something, we're like, you're supposed to have this.
So
Actually, there was actually a time that I remember we were resetting and it was so quick. Like it had to be one of the last ones because throughout the day the time between gets a lot shorter. Like it starts out 15 minutes in between and then like they just
yeah, something.
And so I remember actually having to go behind the curtain because we kept things behind like a curtain, and I didn't remember to reset it when we first did it. So I had to. I was like, this is over here. Like,
So we get like if that. I don't even know if it's 15 minutes.
No.
Pretty much while you're watching the intro video.
yes.
They're like 5 minutes long or something. Not even. That's what we have to reset the whole thing. Put clues back the exact same way so it's fair for all teams. It is chaos. We have notes and books and fun things, but like you children destroy things, so it's very hard to remember how to put things back together.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yes.
So tell us about the mustache. You mentioned at the beginning that you had a mustache problem. What
You
was-
should
So
put a photo because there is a photo.
Is
there is a photo.
There is a
of us
photo.
three,
We'll have
and
to
my
dig that
mustache
up.
is
Yeah,
like
we'll
this.
have to dig that
So
up.
we were cops in the first year, and so of course we had.
We weren't women cops.
No, for some reason we had big men cops with ponytails. And so we had our shirt and ties on, right? So we had on, and mustaches, because I guess all good cops wear mustaches. And of course theirs was fine, but mine wouldn't stay on, so it was like this for most of the time.
It was like a really bad like remake of Pink Panther.
It was fine. I thought I was the best looking cop there.
So you kind of alluded to this earlier with the book. Is
Oh,
it
no.
true that the minions are constantly dropping hints, but no one
Yes.
will listen?
No.
Like
Seriously.
literally, from the first person to the last, we are nonstop telling you guys hints, and
Yeah.
nobody
Nobody
pays
listens.
attention. You guys typically like shove us off, like shh, you're bothering me.
Yes, we're trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing.
Occasionally, you have that one kid who's always really quiet. They're like, wait, is the minion saying something?
But it's usually the kid that nobody listens to.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's like that one kid that like they come up and they're like, "Hey guys, the minion said that."
Yeah.
They're like,
Oh,
"Hold
I
on,
don't say anything."
we're
Yeah.
figuring this out."
yeah, pretty much.
But
So give us a little bit of insight here. Tell us, how do you plot and how do you plan an escape room? Like what happens leading up to camp to get us ready? Walk us through the process.
a lot of ridiculousness.
So we're like, we have a meeting. We're like, let's think of like the idea behind it. Like the first year was like something was stolen. We had to figure out who it was. The second year, something was going to explode. Was it explosion or
Yeah,
whatever?
the egg waterizer.
Yeah, vapor. Yeah, was going to.
yeah.
We were all going to die, and then we had to. You had to steal something for us. So we have to like think of like the main plot, and so we have a meeting, and then like a few months later, Josh is like, "No, we came up with something completely different. We're not going with that. Let's
Yes.
start all over." So that's how they start.
Yes, and then we planned 2 weeks before camp. He's looking at us like,
It's like, "Yeah, don't say that."
like he's like, "Look at me, no."
Dumb dog. Okay. So walk us through this. So you said you get a plot.
Yes.
Whether that's the first plot or not. Then what happens? What do you do after the
So
plot?
we
Pinterest.
Yeah, we Pinterest. I think we Pinterest as much as it can be. Pinterest.
Well, I think we Pinterest and then we take things from Pinterest and then
we put them
we
apply
drive
them to
them.
our. So we
Yeah.
find a whole bunch of puzzles. We just like have lists of puzzles, and we figure out. Typically, we're always finding numbers.
Yes.
I think almost every week we had
Yes.
to find numbers. So we like figure out that, and then we just kind of put the puzzles with the numbers, and
Yeah.
it just comes out with this
It's-
crazy graph thingy. and
It's just like
really
a flow chart, and then it starts at the top, all the numbers, and then it like breaks down.
puzzles that like almost backwards, but like you have to work backwards.
You have to work backwards, or else you're gonna miss clues.
And lots of Josh saying no.
No, that's not how this works.
That never happened.
And then there's lasers, and it's just the thing.
So I don't know if you know this. What is the success rate for teams at the escape room?
Ooh, so are you depending? Like, are you saying
Ours?
all over?
Yeah, our escape rooms at the NOYC. What is the
I think-
average?
Are you talking about every year, or are you talking about like just
Average.
average.
I
Did
would
you
say.
actually come up with the average.
Huh?
Did you actually come up with the average?
There's an actual number.
So did you like actually do it mathematically, or are we just pulling a number out of our wahoos?
Listen, never at the NOYC do we pull numbers out of our wahoos. And
we pull numbers out of our ears.
We are polite here.
Polite lurg. We are polite lurg.
Okay, let's focus. Do you know what the success rate is? Like, if you had a guess, what would be
like
the
a percentage?
Yeah.
I would guess like
I think it gets like
I want to
towards
say
the end.
I want to say 70.
I would probably say 65.
What are you? Price is Right?
Yes. What is it?
It's close to 60.
Yeah.
It varies year to year, but it's close to
We
60.
also, they have to understand too, is that when you're looking at it, we try to make it easier for the little kids too. We do have like a second setup for like little kids, so it's not as hard for them. So
Correct.
it makes it fair for everyone.
So, what is the most complex prop or puzzle that you've had to make for an escape room?
We had to make.
Make or reset.
Yeah, either or. Tell us both.
To make was probably, well, we didn't make it, but my dad did the lasers. Trying to make the lasers, we had to,
The mirrors and all that.
all the mirrors were, and then they would move randomly. Like, I don't know, we
Yeah.
have them to the wall.
Like straight, like tied.
Yeah.
So it couldn't move, and then throughout the day they just
They just kind of
they
move.
just move.
You got that one kid that's like,
Pretty much.
so probably the mirrors was the hardest to like set up.
The which we didn't have to do it either, but the pressure plate that was tricky.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah. We actually had to give a few wins away to people just because it was so sensitive that we had to give wins. But I'm trying to think of like actually making like here.
Yeah.
Like that we made here and brought
no.
to them.
That's a hard question.
For me,
Oh boy.
the hardest prop
Oh boy.
was all the replicas that I made. I made like
You
a.
did so good.
Yeah, we found a new talent in Jamie this year, or this last year.
I made our shower trailer from 2014 year. If you weren't there that year, it was pretty nice. And then what was the other? Oh, the big house logo out of cardboard, as we do everything.
All right, so a team comes in, and the first, they're excited, and they're running around, and it's all new and shiny and sparkly, and they want to figure out how do we do this. What is the biggest mistake that a team makes usually? Like, what do you see most often that's the biggest mistake teams make in the escape room?
They don't split up.
Oh, see, I was gonna say the opposite.
See,
They do split up. Because, like, especially, like, I feel like the younger kids is the hardest because all little kids are, like, they scatter abroad. And then they don't bring their counselor what they found. So then the counselors eventually go back and find what has already been found. And so they just kind of...
See, I was thinking of like the older teams because I think that they stick together.
Yeah, as long as they bring stuff.
They need to break into like if you were to go into this and be like, okay, you're splitting up these 3 groups.
Yeah.
Do this like.
Well, like, as long as
search.
they find something, they bring it back to the counselor.
Yeah,
It's fine. But a
yeah.
lot of the times they just keep going back and finding the same thing over and over again.
And then they
Different
find
people.
the thing that they pulled out of somewhere on the floor because the kid didn't
And
give
they're
it
like,
to
where'd
him.
this come from? And we're like, I don't know.
And I don't know what happened. But yeah, that's probably the worst mistake that they make.
So, are there ever malfunctions in the escape room? Ever?
Listen, they are
We are perfection. It's
perfect.
perfect. It's just well,
Impeccable.
except for when your mustache is falling off.
That's besides the point.
Or, things fall off the wall and become detached and we have to be like, we told you not to touch that!
Or, the screen gets punched off of the thing and it was your grandma's. And
I forgot about that. So, my father-in-law, Paul Moore, so the one year it was the egg waterizer, which was really just a glorified water heater. And so it had a computer screen on the top for the countdown, and you had to hit the code and then press the button and then it popped. Just button. Like you literally could have just been like, and it would have been fine. But no, my lovely father-in-law decides to just boom, and then the screen comes down, breaks the screen, and then we told him it was my grandmother's, which it was not. But it made him feel bad.
But it wasn't his fault, it was Kendra's fault.
But it was Kendra's fault.
It was Kendra's fault, but nonetheless,
yeah.
it was
Same thing with the vlog thing.
So, does cheating ever take place in the escape room? Like, is there ever someone who's like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do this my way, and they cheat?
Yes, picking up the glass to get, so this past year we had a museum and the thing they had to get was a book. And they tried to, because our faulty in just being able to build things, you could lift the glass thing and just take it out instead of finding the code.
Completely bypass the code and just get it.
We didn't know that until we got down there and started doing this with the team.
And the kids were like, look, you get to do this! And we're like, oh.
No, you need a code. So we were like, put that back.
Yeah, that happened to all those greedy children that cheat.
And literally to the point where like either we had to stand behind it so they couldn't just like, bloop. But what was the question?
They cheat.
Oh, did they cheat? Yeah, so that was the one year, so they would just take it off. But I don't think they've cheated any other. I don't think
I
there's
don't
a way
think
for
that,
them.
yes, I think we did better.
I mean, we've cheated.
Yeah,
Because we're tired of them struggling.
we get annoyed that you guys dig so long. We're like, this is how you do this.
So, of all the kids and all the counselors and all the teams that come through the escape room, who would you say is the most competitive and over the top each year?
Say that back. Patty Mead.
Where did you come up with that name?
Just off the top of my head,
just like
came to me.
telepathically.
No, she takes it so serious.
Yes.
Like it's like life or death for real for her.
I'm pretty sure I still have a video of her, and she's like looking at us the entire time because
Yeah.
she knows we know all the
Well,
codes.
she was by herself the first year, wasn't she? As far as adult wise, like she was with the little kids, but by
Yeah.
herself. So like she just didn't have help. So she's kind of like, is this? And
And then she's like, "We're doing this."
yeah, and she got so excited. It
She
was
did.
so funny.
It was really funny. Actually, I think I still have that video. I don't know.
Pretty sure
if
it's
we
on
can-
Facebook.
Is it on Facebook?
I feel like it is.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a behind the scenes and a virtual camp blast, and so I don't know if you can or not, but can you give us a little bit of insight? Do you know what the theme is for 2021 at the NOYC?
Absolutely no clue.
No idea if Josh doesn't change it again.
If it doesn't, it's gonna be very year oriented
Yeah, has to do with.
Give us a hint.
this year.
You might want to dress your best.
All right, we'll leave it at that. You might want to dress your best. Well, Minions, we are going to show some video clips.
Oh, no.
And these videos are from escape rooms gone by. And so we want you guys to give us, some insight, what was actually going on here, what they should have done, maybe poke fun at the people in the video, kind of
Are we
explain.
in the videos?
Some of them.
Oh boy.
But just kind of give a little bit of behind the scenes as we watch these, okay?
Oh,
last
the
year's.
It's the bomb underneath the bench.
Listen, I honestly don't know that I could have put that puzzle together. Like,
No.
watching them do it over and over again, it was just like, oh, I know it was supposed to be.
I'm glad. That's the mirror that they kept on touching.
Yeah, that was the.
So that's the box. The box right there is the one that you
It's the
could
glass,
you could
yeah.
just lift
You
it
could-
off.
The ledge thingy was like cut out and like it
Yeah.
just you could lift it off.
It just wasn't. And the
Stanchion.
the stanchion.
Yeah, I was gonna say what's the two different ways to say it?
The stanchion and stanchion.
So what's the right way?
Stanchion. But not by
Then my dad.
your dad. Stanchion.
Yeah, I don't know. He
Stanchion.
combined stanchions, stanchions, and I don't know how to do
Stanchion.
it. Stanchions. I don't know.
Oh, it was that it.
That was that one.
Alright.
This
Was this when they come breaking in? Okay, so what was it, every 15 minutes? 10 minutes? Or no, it was when they tripped the wire.
Yeah.
So whenever they went through a laser, the police would come in, and that was
They would do like a security check.
Yeah.
And so they had to hide real quick, or else they would be caught.
yeah, and that was played by our most famous people of Papa Bo,
Grandpa Boo,
Grandpa Boo, and then Richard.
and yeah,
And then who else was in there? Was there two? Was there more than just those two?
yeah. It was wasn't it Tom Tipton?
It might have been Tom Tipton.
And what was the other one?
I don't know.
That's Grandpa Boo, isn't it? And Richard, I cannot tell who it is.
I remember there being a fourth.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that tornado. That's such a nice tornado.
So the second team, and I'm sorry I can't think of who they were together. They would actually take the kids out, like they catch them and take them. Well, Grandpa Boo and Richard, they'd shine their flashlight straight in your face and be like, "Nope, no one in here," and then walk right out. It was great.
Meanwhile, we had to hide also because we were part of the heist.
Yeah, we were part.
So we were, the lazy ones. We were the managers. So we're like, find this thing and do this for us.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna lie. So we had a the robe and the wig.
Oh, the Chris Ferguson to get up.
What'd you call it? It was called something. I don't know. So it was a wig on a fake mannequin with a robe. I kept thinking that was someone like the whole time. And I kept thinking like, oh, I'm sorry. Or when we're setting up, I'm like, why are you in here? And it was.
So tell us a little bit about making a mannequin.
Well, that was me and Amy. Were you there for any of them?
Yeah, I was there. I didn't do that project though.
So how did we do that? Did I first put it on? I think so first I put on around, or either me or Amy, I can't remember, but we had to duct tape ourselves, and then we did like 700 layers of that, and then we had to cut it, and then put it back together, and then shove it full of things, and then we put I don't even know, what did we put in the bottom of it?
Foam.
No, not the foam, but the rack thing.
It was
it
wood.
Yeah, it was a wooden stand.
Was it a wooden stand?
Wooden rack thing.
But yeah, so we were us. That's us.
Yeah, people think we just have these things in our basement.
No,
No,
our
we make it
resume
all.
would be pretty impressive, let me say. The things we've made.
Let's see. What year is this?
This was We're All Gonna Die.
Oh, this is the year that.
No, this is still. There's lasers.
Oh yeah, that's
This is still
lasers.
last year.
So what's the beeping? Or it's the blinking for the lasers.
So,
It's so they can shut off the lasers. They didn't
this
know
is
that
the
though.
very beginning.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So they came
that
in.
took forever sometimes.
No, seriously.
Like I don't remember how they got the code.
So the first thing they had to do was to unlock the power switch to turn off the laser, so they couldn't trip them anymore.
Yeah.
So
And
that the
then-
police wouldn't come
yeah.
in. And so that took forever for some of them. I think the code was actually in their bag.
I think so.
It was wrote
but like
down.
most of them, like this, like they're doing, they just went under the lasers
Yeah.
the whole time, and so they're like trying to avoid the lasers when they could have just turned them off.
But the lasers, we were the ones that called them. Like, do you
Right.
so we had to pay
pretend.
attention.
Yeah, we would pretend. Like
So,
if we someone cut them, we would like.
Yeah, we would pretend that we're doing
because
it.
the security guards weren't real and didn't have real feet to them.
But there was one team, I don't remember what team it was, but every single 2
Yeah.
seconds. I'm like, stop touching the lasers.
Because we're tired of calling the security. Just stop.
All of them
Most of them just climbed under or over.
Mostly the younger kids, because I get it.
Yeah, I remember sweet little Miguel. He couldn't see it, so he couldn't see to to unlock it. And
Yeah.
I think he was by himself. I don't know if he had.
He was younger kids.
Yeah,
it was him and
younger
Molly,
kids.
wasn't it?
For some reason I thought he was by himself in there.
Huh?
And so he can't see well, so he can't see in the dark, and so it was just a mess for him. And I felt so bad for him.
It's just a thing. As you can tell, me and Rachel don't have very good memories in the dark.
I have to have light to have memories. Is that Amy?
Yeah, this is Amy's team.
Amy got to be part of it last year? Or
Yeah, she wasn't part of the plan. Oh, that's another thing is Amy hasn't been able to play in most of our.
The first 2 years,
Yeah.
she was a big part of the whole planning process. This year, she wanted to be, because then we normally make her sit out.
Yeah.
So this year, she wanted to actually do it. So she helped make things that weren't like a mannequin, that doesn't give away a clue or anything. So she was helping.
Oh, the puzzle box. Stinking
Oh
puzzle
my
box.
gosh!
The stinking puzzle. It's a bomb, guys! There's a bomb under the bench.
Every single time.
It's a puzzle box just taped to the bunch that we're actually sitting on right now.
Every team was like, "There's a bomb in here. There's a bomb."
Or I actually know what. There was one kid that went up to the counselor and was like, "Hey, there's a bomb under there."
Everyone. It's great.
But I'm trying to think.
Then you just have a few of those kids that just stood there staring at the other one. And they're just
Which is funny because are you going to talk about the aftermath of this where we started taking it down and everybody was like,
Sure, go ahead.
so we made this. It was a museum because it was our 10th year, so we were every year we had a pedestal and stuff like that. So we started taking it down because it was the end of the rest. No, there's no more games.
It's a lot to clean up, so we were trying to get ahead of it.
And so some people come in. I remember Chris Ferguson, but I don't remember if
I think it was
anybody
just
else. Was it just
Chris
him?
There was a couple others showed up.
But they thought it was going to be an actual museum because they actually wanted to see the cool history behind because they haven't been a part of it from the beginning. And so we started tearing it down. They're like, "Are you guys tearing that down?"
Well, Chris was actually tearing things down. He's like, "Wow, this is cool. What's the story behind this? What's the story behind this?" And then we're like, Josh was like, "Maybe we should have actually give a tour and told our history."
So we gave an impromptu tour.
That was an intro.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, Josh is a tour guide. Is a little bit lengthy.
But he did well for the time span that he had.
It was interesting. I mean, I was glued.
I'm like, for all of it. I'm like, wow, that happened. Whoa. But yeah, no, that was really cool though. That it was cool that other people wanted to see what
and it
we
was
had
cool
been through.
going back and seeing what all we've been through because it's kind of you lived it and just kind of forget about it.
It's kind of disturbing that we have almost every single year we have like tons of memorabilia from every year. It's not like we just throw away things. Like everybody thinks that you get new stuff for every year. No, we try to save as much money as we can, so we'll reuse things. Actually, a lot of the stuff that we had in here, we've used it for other things, and then we just had to fix it to
put it back to its original state.
But that was really fun. Oh, my favorite was that last podium, the podium that was cut. Like, guys, there's a light! There's a light! Because you can see the light through the thing. Oh, that's sad. Just the sad. But that's all the pedestals with all
What's
of
your favorite shirt?
Oh man, I hate that shirt. Sorry, Josh. It's just the worst.
He finally admitted it to it. At the,
Nobody wants to wear it.
No.
Sorry. I thought he was wearing it. I'm trying to think. Oh, pain in the butt. Those lights. The lights that are on the inside. They wouldn't stay down. Well, and they wouldn't stay down either, where they were supposed to be. Oh, the book.
So that was. Did I have to do that twice?
Yes.
So yeah, because I did the original one.
Yes.
So yeah, we may have lied a little bit more.
It's a little bit of trickery.
So was that from the very first year of Escape Room then, the original notebook?
Yes.
So I was a pretend Grandpa Boo, guys. The notebook wasn't really Grandpa Boo. And yes, that's my actual handwriting. But so basically what I did is I sat down with all of the like evidence and files of what made that
Year.
that what's it called? The crime. The
Investigation?
investigation. Thank you. I cannot think of the word. I'm like, and like as I going through it, I'm like envisioning like actually investigating all this stuff, and so I would write down as if these were my notes from it. And so that's the notebook you guys used in the escape room. Well, we wanted that for this year's escape room to have a
Pullback.
memorabilia, but we just couldn't find it. So
Yeah.
I had to try to go back and redo it. It was not nearly as good, I don't think, the second time. I don't think
It wasn't
I had
nearly as
much in it.
long.
Yeah, but
Detail oriented. You wrote really big in it. Like, let me use more pages.
yeah, take some more pages then.
This looks like the first year. Just by the red.
That looks like the Patty video.
Oh, it's Patty!
That's what I thought when I seen it on there.
So is this when they crack it? Okay, so
was
she's
they the first team to
competitive.
get it? So,
Yeah.
So she was by herself with a bunch of kids, and they were the very first team to get it. It was so.
She was
funny.
so excited.
She was.
It was so cool. So the whole point of this was you had to get into
laptop.
the laptop. So you had the code for the laptop to get in and find out who stole the camp trophy. Was it?
Yeah. Was there? What was on the? I know, but what was on the laptop? Was it a video or was it? Did it just say?
No, it was the crime scene file. Like it was like their like you know how like we had different people's things throughout the thing. I think it was that. It was just a like I had my it was Tough Stash Tom. Was it Tough Stash? Tough Stash, yeah. Tough Stash Tom, which is my dad, and he's not very tough.
She was so excited. It was so funny.
Yeah, no, it was great. Oh, that's the board.
Sweet
the
tea.
board that they put sweet tea all over. I don't know if that's
Chuck?
tree.
That's Chuck.
Oh, it's Chuck. Chuck was funny. Oh, and then Joe almost broke the entire place.
Yes. He started jumping this, and this. I don't know how old these buildings are, but like not old enough for Joe to be jumping up and down. He started jumping up and down, and we're like the whole
You're gonna
floor
break it.
was moving. It was crazy.
And he's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you have to imagine this. The only place that was air conditioned was
Where Jamie was.
Where I was in the
None
back.
of the children was
And-
so hot.
Well, it's because my room, so it was two separate rooms, but they were like, there wasn't like a ceiling all the way to the top for them. But I was in this room and there was only like 4 or 5 puzzles in my room. So as soon as they found them, they all shoved into the other room, which is where these two were at. And I was like, this is nice. And I stood, my spot that I chose was right next to the air conditioner.
Yeah, it was right next to the AC, of course.
Rachel came back, she's like, seriously? Is this when it falls?
I don't think that's Paul.
That's me with my nice pigtail.
You had 3, didn't you, though?
I think I had
And you
3.
had like one in the very.
I think I have one in the back, but
yeah, you can't see it very well.
no. I'm trying to think of who this is.
And like, what's funny though is that like the one year that it was the hottest, we had them wear the most.
Yeah.
They had like
They had
everything.
goggles
They had goggles, gloves, and a coat.
Yeah.
So this was actually a hot water heater.
Yes, yes, that was a hot water heater that we glued a
put
keypad
some,
to.
Yeah, we put a keypad, some lights, some. I don't even know
We
what
painted
that
it.
is.
We painted it like silver.
Yeah, I don't know what that.
See, that's what they were supposed to do. See how nice?
calm, gentle.
It was just.
Oh.
And there's a glow stick. Did we give him glow sticks?
There were a few scattered around.
Oh, okay. I'm like, why is there a glow stick? But yeah, just a nice.
My head was in a jar.
Yes, her head was in a jar. It was nice, and everybody was kind of afraid of it.
All right,
Styrofoam
guys.
cooler.
Any last minute remarks? Any last comments on the escape rooms at the NOYC?
They're frustrating to watch just simply because we know the puzzles.
It's because we want to help. Like
Yes.
we can't stand like watch. It feels like you guys are struggling. We're like, we just want to help. But
Yeah.
it's so much fun.
It is,
like
it's-
one of my favorite non-spiritual aspects of camp. They're one of my favorites.
And it's one of the things that it's one of the only things that we actually run at the camp.
It's like our only time.
Besides like Minute to
focus
Win
on
It, but like it's not, Minute to Win It is a totally different, like it's like set up, tear down, set up, tear down. But like this is like more of like we get to spend time with the kids and we get to see them react and how they just do things. And it's really awesome to just be able to be around them.
So we didn't talk about this earlier, but when do you actually start setting up the escape room at camp?
Monday.
Well,
Sunday.
depends on what day we get.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we've
depends.
gotten there, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So typically the very first day we get there, we start and we unload everything, and then we're just literally working on it every day that we get a second, which isn't really at all. But somehow we do it, and I don't know how.
It's usually at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And then we do a drive around with all of the non-counselor
Teams.
staff.
Yeah. So
That's fun because we always see a
So
lot
the
of
escape room
mistakes.
is actually there all week.
Yes.
You just can't see it until Thursday.
Yeah, no.
Typically it's all set up in whatnots, but they no,
It's
not today.
and usually we have like some kind of blackouts or like the last years we've had it in a like room that has like glass, so we always have to like darken it up so they can't just like look inside and be like, oh.
But the year that was in the cabin house thingy, they didn't know which cabin
Oh yeah,
it would have been in.
it was haunted looking anyway, so you wouldn't want to go in there. But we did have a couple of times. Do you remember the couple of times that we had to yell at people? We were in there working on stuff, and they were trying to find us, and our radios either weren't on or weren't, you know, we weren't paying attention.
Or we had our mouths, our ears were bleeding.
And then somebody would run in and be like, "Get out!" But,
So, if you had to pick a dream theme for an escape room, all reserves off any theme you ever could want, what would you pick?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like, I would want everybody to be
Shrunk?
small. Yeah, I would like you walk in and you're just
Everything
shrunk.
seems really big.
Yeah, like the video would be like you would have like a hypnotizing almost looking thing, like
Like
you're shot with a
shrinking
ray.
it, yeah. That'd be cool.
And then everything is huge. That would be really cool.
You brought that to the table once, didn't you?
I did, but
It was
nobody-
rejected?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Are there
And then I tried to put it in the prayer station, and it was still rejected.
Honey, I Shrunk in Prayer?
Yeah, it was the judge's one where I
Yeah,
wanted like
yeah.
the huge
Yeah.
judge seat and
I
like
remember
just
this.
different things. Yeah.
Are there any other rejected themes?
Oh, there
There's
are
plenty. Well, the Sherlock was.
Sherlock Holmes, we keep bringing that one up.
Yeah, we do it. We say that we're gonna do it every year. And then we
Wasn't there something like with the
Candy.
the Candy
Land?
Land? It wasn't Candy Land. It was Candy Factory.
Candy Factory. Willy Wonka.
And then wasn't there something with the Egyptian something? Did we?
Oh, like the gold. You had to get like Indiana Jones style situation. Yeah.
That one's. Most of these have been thrown out many years. We just keep saying no.
But they're just, especially like, not like financial, but like budget wise, it's really hard to come up with these things,
Yeah.
and it's hard to home make a lot of these things and make them look good. So we don't want to put something out there that looks like
Yeah,
trash.
it wants to feel real, so you
Yeah.
can't like do certain themes and stuff with what we have.
Like, I know it's really hard to see in the videos and stuff, but we really try to make our rooms, it's not just here's a puzzle here, here's a puzzle here. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's made that doesn't even have anything to do
Right.
with the actual puzzles. They're just like props and stuff. We want the atmosphere. We want them to jump in and be like immersed
Completely,
in it.
yeah, completely actually be there, feel like they're actually in what they're supposed to be in.
All right. Well, give everybody who's watching one final piece of advice for doing escape rooms at the NOYC.
Give the minions good snacks.
All right, you heard it here on the NOYC Virtual Camp Blast. Thanks again so much to Jamie and Rachel, your favorite minions, for joining us live on our virtual blast. And so we will be back tomorrow with one final Virtual Camp Blast. And so make sure to tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. Say goodbye, ladies.
Bye!